Welcome back to the Fort Johnson podcast, the official source for news, updates, and information affecting our soldiers, families, and civilian workforce. Today, we're diving into an important topic that affects everyone living on or visiting the installation, firearms registration. Whether you're new to Fort Johnson or a longtime resident, understanding the policies and procedures surrounding firearm ownership on post is crucial. We'll be joined by the experts from the Directorate of Emergency Services to break down everything you need to know, from the registration process to safe storage requirements and the do's and don'ts of transporting weapons on post. So, if you own a firearm or are thinking about bringing one onto the installation, stay tuned. This episode will ensure you stay informed and are in compliance. Let's get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are watching or listening our podcast. I am Jeff England from the Fort Johnson Public Affairs Office, and we are in the Fort Johnson Podcast Studios. Today with me, I've got two of our greatest security enforcers on our post. We got William Masterson, the security assistant at the Visitor Center. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Good. Thanks for having me.
And I've got Aaron Neatfeld. He is the chief of guards. He's the chief of guards. He's the guards chief.
Good morning.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm glad to have you in. I didn't realize. Just wait. The questions get harder. So, am I taking you out of like a very busy schedule here?
Always.
Okay. You got to get those barriers up and down. You know, it's like you try coming through a little too fast, and it's like nope, stop. But anyway, so we've got today we're going to be talking about the firearms registration. Apparently, that's a big deal, a big issue. We want to make sure that everyone is safe, and we've got the forms that you got to fill out and proper procedures because, as opposed to outside the gates, which is regulated under state laws and stuff, we are a federal installation, and so we fall under the federal laws. So, did I miss anything?
No, basically, every installation has their own guidelines set forth by the CG, and there's Army doctrine that follows along with that as well. But for the most part, outside the installation is all state, federal, and then we're strictly federal and local policy.
Yeah. So so basically, what that means is that the carrying concealed license and the ability and stuff like that, it doesn't apply on post.
Correct. Your state license doesn't apply, and a big question that we actually get a lot is LEOSA.
LEOSA. I don't know that person.
The LEOSA is your law enforcement 50-state concealed carry license.
Can I get one?
Probably not.
Takes all the fun out of everything.
But none of that stuff actually applies on the installation. So
no, none of it. So, but police officers are different, right?
As far as you talking about
like an actual police officer on duty and coming in through
correct.
In the car and all that stuff.
On duty is the key word.
So you can't like run from the cops and hope they get stopped at the gates.
Yeah, they have to be in their official capacity. Yes.
So this we've got a form that you have to fill out, 563.
Correct.
Okay, so walk us through this the form. Where can we get it? How long or how much involved or how involved is it to fill out? It doesn't seem like too hard. And has that changed recently? So, I mean, because I remember registering my firearms to come on to go to the shooting range, and they gave me a paper to keep in my truck along with the instructions on how to carry the weapons in my or how to transport them. And but is it the same form that they've always used, or is this something different?
Brand new form.
Brand new form.
Whole new form. New form requires commander's email now because we have a whole new step to the process, which is after registering and after everyone signs the form. We send a courtesy email to our chief of physical security and a number of supervisors, including the commander that signed the form.
Now, if you're a civilian, you don't have a commander. Is it just like if you work here? I would assume it's just the boss or the director or whatever of your.
Yes. So we've been told to we have to email the director of each civilian that works on post whenever they register a firearm. But if it's a non-affiliated, just a civilian wanting to come use the firing range, then there's no one to email, no one to sign that block.
And so, yeah, and the firing range actually has competitions and the paintball and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. So it's more people, or it's not just for military. It's for do you have to be? Do you know a lot about the shooting range, or just how to get there?
Yeah, just what's on their website.
Just the basics, yeah. If you want to know more, go to the website, MWR. So when somebody comes up to Fort Johnson, first of all, it has to be the main gate, gate 1 or gate 1. Man. I hate those numbers. They're all over the place. It's like gate 1, then gate 2 is somewhere I've never been, and gate 3B, and it's like, wait a minute, this is worse than a 20 movie cinema. And so it's like, wait, you're in theater 3. That's on the other side of the country. But so we come up to the visitor center. You have to stop in the visitor center. How would we go about registering? Do we need to come in pre-filled and all that stuff, or what?
Easiest thing is probably to download the form from the MWR range website, fill it out, have the commander sign it, and then bring it to us. We're the last people to sign it. We sign it, stamp it, make copies for everybody. That's probably the easiest way. You can always come to the visitor center, get the form. We can explain it all to you, and then go to the commander. What
information is? It can also be found on home.army.mil/Johnson and under the DES physical security under DES. So it just goes down. But anyway, so what's all the information that we need to fill out on there? Is it stuff that we can know right off the top of our head, or?
Possibly. It could possibly. We just explain, the UIC, some new soldiers that come in may not know what that means. UIC is Unit Identification Code.
Is that like a serial number?
For the unit.
Oh, yeah, for the unit. Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Each unit has their own code.
Sorry, I blanked out there for a second. I was thinking of shooting on the range.
Biggest thing that we explain is where people sign, so that we're all signing the right blocks, and the new step for the commander's email. That's just the biggest thing that we harp on now.
So do we have to, so when I come in, do I have my weapon holstered, or do I just hand it to you, or what am I doing? What are we doing with that stuff?
Leave the gun elsewhere.
Oh, you don't want us bringing the weapon into the office? Oh, don't where's the fun in that?
No, I think there's signs posted on the doors now. Do not bring weapons in. All we need is the information from the weapon, serial number, make, model. We don't need to see the weapon.
Okay, that's good. So, and then when we transfer or transport, once we get all that done, it's immediate, right? We don't have to wait. There's no waiting period or anything for registration?
Normally, no. Normally, we can register them that day, same day. If it's, if there's an event or something going on post and we're extra busy, sometimes it might be the next day.
Oh.
But it's usually...
plan ahead.
Same day. Yep. Yep.
So so once we get it all registered, we fill out the form 563, get it all approved and sent through and copied and emailed and all that stuff. Now transporting the weapon onto post or in through the gate, what are the steps? You have to keep it separate the gun separate from the ammo. You don't have to physically take apart the gun, right?
Right. You don't have to take the whole weapon apart. You ensure that your weapon and ammunition are separated. When I say separated, it's
you want to make sure that you can't reach it while driving.
Right. So if you've got, let's say, the gun in the glove box, put your ammunition in the trunk, or vice versa. The only time that we ever have any real issues with that is people on motorcycles. Makes it very difficult.
Yeah.
So
I'll keep the weapon in the holster and the ammo in the saddlebag.
it is a very difficult process with especially certain types of bikes.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the I call them rice burners, the street bikes. And then we got the cruisers. I like the cruisers.
Yeah, if you've got saddlebags, it makes it nice and easy.
Oh, one in one and the other in the other. So what about pickup trucks? I mean, I don't have a trunk, and I don't want to put all my stuff in the bed of the truck. Is the back seat good enough?
The key thing is you just don't want to make it accessible to the driver. So a lot of trucks nowadays, they have the back seats that fold up, things like that. That's probably the best place.
Oh, yeah, like underneath the seat. Try to hide it and stuff like that.
I wouldn't do all that because we'll eventually get you.
That's the last thing I want. Is just like, great, now we're chasing Jeff down for the third time today. So, do we have a lot of problems with this? I mean, I've seen the random inspections go on at the gate, and I see people sitting there handcuffed and stuff like that. And come to find out, it's usually they did not go through the procedures. What happens if I bring my weapon on post before, or I didn't, or I haven't registered it or anything?
There's two things. So there's unregistered weapon properly carried. There's unregistered weapon improperly carried. Registered weapon improperly carried. There's a whole bunch of different scenarios, but in any of those, the MPs are going to be called, and there's going to be a report done. Your command's going to be notified, and there's a laundry list of possible outcomes of that.
Well, that doesn't seem fun. It seems like a real pain, honestly. What about people? What about the guys living in the barracks, or the people living in the barracks?
So the ones living in the barracks, they're required wholeheartedly to register the weapons and keep them in the arms room.
Now, the arms rooms are at the unit?
Correct.
Okay.
Unit, yeah, each unit's arms room.
So, and that's part of their arms room inspection process. So if they don't have their weapons registration for all the soldiers that have weapons in that arms room, that unit can fail their inspection. So that's a black eye on the commander, and the commander don't want none of that.
Now, if you keep it in the arms room, you just go over and check it out and go to the shooting range or do whatever you're going to be doing. You don't have to go back to the front gate and register or let people know up at the gate or anything like that?
No, it's commander's discretion. So if the commander has to authorize the release of that weapon, right? So let's say that the soldier wants to go to the range, but he's undergoing some type of UCMJ or something like that. The commander can be like, don't think I'm going to release that weapon right now because they're a little disgruntled.
Just a little. I've never seen a gruntled person. They're always disgruntled. It's like, hey, how are you feeling? I'm gruntled. Never see that. Anyway. So what are some instances where you won't be allowed to have a weapon on post?
Pretty much anytime you have a convicted felon.
Now, I have a feeling they're going to have a problem getting on post in general.
Generally speaking. But, there are waiver processes for that.
Oh, okay. Now, what is it, the Hatch Act, or is it?
Talking about the Lautenberg Amendment?
The Lautenberg Amendment, that's right. I always forget. There's so many things in my head that they bounce around and try to find someplace to go. So if you are, is it convicted or or?
It's convicted.
It's convicted. Okay, good. So if you're convicted of like domestic violence, you're.
Right. That actually can bar you from military service as well. So.
Yeah, because you can't shoot the weapon, or you can't. That's not. It's kind of bad for your career. So please, don't do that. So What are some of the cool weapons that you've had to register? Do you have any stories about like, oh, this is cool, I'd like to see that someday? Or it's like no one's bringing cannons on post, right?
No, nothing crazy. I mean, it would be cooler if we were able to see the weapons, but we never really see them. We just see their name on paper. But, I mean, just exotic, expensive weapons that you don't normally see. Nothing crazy.
Like a Barrett shotgun and the over under. Yeah. I might not be a sportsman, but I do like shooting. I don't care how many baskets they made at the Super Bowl. I like going out at the shooting range. So, would you say, or we brought you in this month, February. It's February, by the way. If you're watching this in June. We're doing this in February. But February is Firearms Registration Month, right? So you guys are so talkative. I appreciate it. This is great. It's like, this is the Jeff show today. So what are we doing special for Firearms Registration Month? Anything special other than just getting the word out?
Yeah, that's kind of the key thing. We did the public service announcement here.
Oh, yeah, you got to check that out.
And the VCC representative was in there, did a bang up job with that. Of course, our arms room was in the background, so
it's always nice to have a good background. That's the first thing I look for. It's like, hey, look at that.
But yeah, it's basically just letting the public know, hey, if you get this done, it makes processes a lot easier than having it happen at the gate, because
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is hold up the line, block off a lane, get arrested because those the nice iron bracelets are not comfortable.
Yeah, it takes far less time just to go through the registration process.
Oh wow! Now so if I was to, I usually carry my weapons in carrying cases. Especially a rifle. I can't fit the rifle in a glove compartment, so just make sure the bullets or the rounds, the ammunition is nowhere near the gun. So we should be good to go on that. And now, do you guys have anything to do with any of the competitions, or do you know anybody that participates in these competitions that are on post?
I don't know of anybody that does them on post. I don't know if he does or not, but I have talked to some of the people out there, and I've heard about some of the stuff that's out there, and it's a little intriguing.
Yeah, it's really cool. You should try it. They have a 3D walkthrough archery range with it's like you go down to all these different lanes, and they have mock-ups of different animals and different targets. They've got a broadhead range, which is very unique because not everyone has them. Then the trap shooting and the skeet shooting, they got those, and the pistol range and the rifle range for all calibers up to 50 caliber. You can't take your Barrett over there and shoot the. I think it'll go right through the berm at the end of the thing. So how many is there a limit on what you can bring on or register, or do you just write everything down, everything that you own, and here you go, get it done at one time?
I don't think there's a huge limit on things. I know certain things are regulated through outside of our form, like fully automatic weapons and things like that. You have to go through the federal government to get those things taken care of. But, as long as it's got a serial number on it and it's considered some kind of firearm, we'll register it.
So that one weapon that you have that the serial number scratched off and there's tape around the handle and stuff, you can't, don't register. Well, no. Turn it in. You turn it in. You don't want that one. So we got when we get there, we've got once it's registered, does it matter what gate we go through after it's registered? Because we have to go through gate 1 to register it at the visitor center.
Right.
But after that, it's registered. We just keep a sheet with us, and we can go through any gate to get to where we're going.
Correct. So Yeah, it's not like, commercial vehicles that got to go through 7. It's, as long as you have it, declare it, you're going to be good to go. Now, if you got pulled in for an inspection and you don't declare it, you're going to get some questions, but ultimately, if it's properly carried, just please don't try to shock my guards. It's always a bad idea.
And what's in here? Surprise! So now what about people living in base housing? They're allowed to keep their weapons in their house, aren't they? Or do they have to put it in an armory of some sort?
Again, they're supposed to be ammo and weapons separated, things like that. But as far as any storage requirements other than that, I'm not aware of any.
And you have to do that in the house too, the whole separation and stuff.
From my understanding, yes.
Oh wow! So, I hope you guys. I hope everything is great, good to go. Well, we are we are in a gated community, so with our own police force and security force.
The guards will keep you all safe. They'll keep all the craziness from coming on.
Yeah, it always happens around the gate because that's where the excitement is, right?
Generally, yeah. We catch. I can't remember the last stat on it, but it was I want to say it was the majority of the crimes on the installation were kept at the gates, but that was a couple of years ago for that stat that I remember.
Oh, so you guys are like the pre-crime unit in Minority Report.
In a sense, maybe.
Stop the crime before it happens. Well, this is great information, and I'm really glad that you guys came in. And not to mention, I like every time I get to guards in here, I like to kick out a little advertisement that you guys are hiring, right?
We're always hiring. We have a great internship program.
Ooh, internship. Interns.
So any soldiers who are ETSing, retiring, things like that, if they want to intern with us for those, I can't remember how many months it is that they do, they can actually intern with us, and positions available, we actually bring them directly on. We actually have 3 interns right now that are in the hiring process.
Yeah, I had one of them in on the podcast earlier, or a couple months ago. He really enjoyed it, and I think he was going to get the job after he got out. He was ETSing, but if you retire, there's no waiting period for the hard to fill positions, right?
It's not hard to get it waived because that clause is always there. You're supposed to wait that 180 days, but we can get it waived usually. So
that's cool.
Not much of an issue.
And then and for the guards' main jobs is the gates, or is there other positions that the guards are responsible for?
It's mainly the gates. However, we do have some staff positions, things like that, like training, operations, things like that. We do have other things that we do besides the gates because we have all the special events, like Forge Fest, any type of concerts, weird, crazy installation level events. We're always there.
Oh, that's cool, and you get some decent backstage passes, and but anyway, I think that's great, and the position is really worth having, especially if you're starting off your GS career field. This is a real great place to get in to the GS system.
And one of the best things, specifically for soldiers, right? Is the schedule. So something that soldiers give up their entire career is their time. They get a lot of that back if they come work for the guards because they effectively work half of a month.
Oh, nice.
So, a typical work schedule is Monday, Tuesday, you're off Wednesday, Thursday, work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then you're off Monday, Tuesday, work Wednesday, Thursday, and then you're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And around here, that really helps because a lot of the businesses are closed on the weekend. Like, it's almost impossible for me to get my my lawnmower fixed because they're always closed when I'm off work.
Right. And for a soldier specifically, saying you can have a 3-day weekend every other weekend.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
That's pretty nice.
That's great. So, I'd love to have you guys back in here. Anytime you have anything that you want to talk about? Did we miss anything that you wanted to talk about? I got the jobs in there. And to find the jobs, you just go to usajobs.gov and look up security.
There's a couple ways because we do have new hiring methods.
Oh, really?
We can do direct hires.
Oh, nice.
So, which is how we do the interns and things like that, and we do direct hires that way.
Nice. So, if you're interested in working as a security officer here on post, give Aaron a call. I'll give out his personal phone number a little later, and I'll just put it down in the sections. And but anyways, be sure to get your forms. You can download them off the internet, or you have them in the visitor center.
Yep, visitor center. You can go to the gun counter at the PX or the MWR range.
And so you're making it easy, so that's nice. And Bill, I'll call you Bill instead. Billy.
Sure.
Billy. William Masterson, Aaron Neatfeld, Chief of Command, Chief of Guards. Appreciate you guys coming in, and hope to have you back here again soon.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right. I'm Jeff England from the Fort Johnson Public Affairs Office. Please hit that subscribe, notify button, and please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, see what you have to say, if you want to see anything on our show, or if you want to be on the show, if you have something special that has to do with Fort Johnson. I would love to talk to you. But until then, I will be seeing and watching and listening at you later.
That was easy.